Welcome back, everybody, to another edition of Real Recognizes Real, where I'm your host, Cottrell Simpson, College Cottrell, as a lot of you guys know me from. And today we got a fun one. We got Cooper DeJean from Iowa, cornerback, who is looking to be a first round pick at DB. Now, like I just said, this was a very fun film session to go look at. He has great tape, and without further ado, let's go ahead and get right into his breakdown. So, what I saw on tape a lot is that this kid is more than willing to go and make a tackle in open space. He's a physical cornerback. For him to be about 6'1" or so, 200 pounds, he gets physical. He's willing to go defeat blockers, make tackles, and he's not afraid to stick his nose in anywhere where it doesn't belong. Another good thing that he has is that at corner, you want your corners to cover. And he does a great job of being able to shadow receivers in man coverage while also having a lot of discipline in zone coverage as well. I think this is a kid that understands the nuances of the game. Iowa's defense was really perfect for him. Iowa sent some good corners to the league in the past, and I think Cooper is really just in line to be the next one. Another thing that I really like with this film is his ball skills. When you gave him the opportunity to take the ball away, he was going to do it. I think this past season he only had 2 interceptions, but the year before he had four. And I've seen with the film, like when he's in a position to take the ball away, this is a kid that's not going to drop those interceptions that you see a lot on Saturdays or even Sundays. And the last thing, I kind of already mentioned it when I was going over him with this tackling. This kid is physical. He likes to jam, he likes to reroute, and he likes to tackle. I love that type of physicality with my corners, and that's something I think will be able to translate right away to that next level. Now, just some of the cons on him, though. While I think he is very good in man and zone, do have some question marks about his hip fluidity and his ability to turn over. And I say that because it seems like he can get pretty stiff when it comes to his speed turns and things like that. And that leads right into that next con where the only route where it seemed like he kind of struggled to cover were those outbreaking routes going towards the sideline. I think a big part of that is him not being able to turn over or just taking some false steps when he is turning over. I think that can potentially be fixed, but again, this is going to transition right into point number three. I think that is part of the reason why some people view Cooper as a safety. And, I'll talk about it a little bit more about my NFL comparison, but we've seen it before where you have these great athletes who are good at covering and good at tackling. And for whatever reason, they struggle with some outbreaking routes. And so, with all that put together, for me, watching the film and then just going over what I liked about him and then what I didn't like about him, his NFL comparison to me is pretty obvious, and that's Minka Fitzpatrick. I'm not saying this kid's going to go and be an all pro player like Minka was, but I mean, just look at their intangibles. Cooper 6'1", Minka was 6 foot, weight pretty close. Cooper actually, jumped out the gym at his after pro day. Cooper was dealing with an injury and he wasn't able to compete at the combine or the pro day. But then he came out and jumped 38.5 and ran a 4.43. I think Cooper is in a spot where Minka was when he came out. Minka, there was a lot of question marks if he was going to play corner or if a team wanted to draft him and play him at safety. He played a little bit of both, transitioned to safety, and then became one of the best in the league. And I think Cooper has that talent, and you might see the same path for him moving forward. But let's go ahead and get right into the film session. I'm starting off with a game from 2022 against Ohio State. I feel like that's a good game to go over just because Cooper was able to see multiple future NFL receivers. You had Marvin Harrison Jr. was playing in that game. Emeka was there, and of course, JSN, Jackson Smith and Jigba was playing as well. So I think that gives you an idea of the level of competition that Cooper can play with. So we are going to start in the first quarter. Let's see here. And the first play that we have up here is Cooper in man coverage. So you will see him in the slots up here. Again, speaks to his versatility. In the slot up here, covering Jackson Smith and Jigba. So it looks like it's going to be a fade route. They go to the corner. He pushes in Jigba to the sideline. That throw really never had a chance. So we'll see it again here from the end zone view. I don't think this view is any better, but I mean, look how tight of a window that is to make this throw. Cooper is all over it here. The hand is going to be going through the chest here. CJ didn't have an opportunity to put this ball more towards the sideline because if he does, that ball is floating out of bounds. That's great man coverage against a first round receiver in the NFL. Now we're going to move on to actually the very next play. Cooper shows you a little bit of that physicality. So you see him at the top of the screen here. Clearly a zone coverage look here. This receiver is running up on him pretty fast. Hey, go ahead, get rerouted, get you to the ground. We're taking away that option from you. Now, I know this was actually a little bit late downfield for a reroute, but I love the physicality, and that's why I wanted to show it to you guys. So you won't see it from the end zone view. I want to go back here and show it to you again, though. Cooper, if you're able to get this around the 32, 33-yard line, I think you're in much better shape. At the NFL level, they might actually call this if they see it. But again, I just wanted to show you the kind of player that he is and where his mind is at. Hey, we're taking away this option from this quarterback. I know it was about 9 yards downfield, and technically that's a flag, but I love seeing that. Cooper is a kid that loves the reroute, and I love that physicality from him. Now we are going to move on to actually just a play later again, where this one's actually going to be a con for him. So you'll see him at the top of the screen up here, and you'll see a little bit of what I'm talking about when I say it seems like he struggles to turn over. Now I know he's in a zone coverage here. He has his eyes on the quarterback, but this receiver is running up on him pretty quick here. I would love to see him be able to flip his hips a little bit better and be able to at least try and make a play on the ball. Not saying he gets an interception here or anything like that, but I think that corners that have a little bit more hip flexibility and better turnover are able to make a play at least on the ball in certain situations like this. So you see it here. He even kind of stumbles, takes a couple like false step to like get his balance, ultimately turns over and pushes the receiver out of bounds. I think that's just an area where he needs to put a little bit of work in. Now let's go ahead, move on to 954 and this one where again it's on display that Cooper he wants to tackle. So you see him at the top of the screen here, zone zone coverage, I imagine, where they're sending him on a blitz here. Presume rundown also, by the way. I believe it was third and short or second and short. So presume run play. They send him on the blitz. He gets right in there and he tackles Mayan Williams. I know he's unblocked and I know that he's supposed to make this play. Mayan Williams is a big running back. At Ohio State, we kind of joked and said he's like a bowling ball. I mean, this is a pretty big kid. And for you to be confident enough to send in your cornerback to go on a blitz and make a play on him says a lot about his skill set. And great play from him. And that ultimately made it 4th and 2. And, it put Iowa in a good spot, in that on that drive. Now, let's go ahead and move on here to the next drive. We only got a couple more plays in this one, then we are going to move on to the next game here. But you'll see Cooper at I believe it's the top of the screen here. Yep. So man coverage look here. Marvin is hitting him with a whip route. You see he's off balance here. Marvin is too, but he sticks that third wheel on the ground, gets his balance, and gets right back up. Cooper, not as lucky. I know the ball doesn't hit Marvin there, but that's a touchdown. That's a touchdown all day long. And so I know the result was okay with Cooper. The action itself, Not all right. So we'll see it one more time here. So he opens up right there, gets off balance. That's touchdown. CJ missed him, and he knows it. CJ knows he missed him there. Now let's go ahead and get to the last play in this one. Cooper showing you his man coverage skills here. So he's lined up again, Marvin Harrison Jr. in the red zone, and he gets a little bit of revenge here. So don't watch the play, watch Cooper. He's on Marvin. That's great coverage there. Turns into a scramble drill. Cooper still all over him. CJ tries to throw across body and makes the play to break it. Cooper makes the play to break it all up. So again, you see it here. This is a play that's lasting 6-7 seconds. And Cooper's just following Marvin, taking care of business, and makes a play on the football. And, I think if he was able to go up with two hands, he's taking that ball away. But let's go ahead and finish that one. And let's go ahead and go over to the next game on the agenda. And that is Michigan State from 2023. So we got that up here. Boom. All right. So the first play again feels like I'm beating a dead horse here, but Cooper loves to tackle. That's what we're going to see on display in this one. So you see the arrow pointed at him at the top of the screen there, and it's a run play. They got blockers in front, and this looks like it's going to be a big play. Cooper hits him with the spin move, goes, makes the tackle. Love seeing that. A lot of corners would just, Velcro on the block and not even try and go make that tackle there, just because they're not the type of corners that like tackling. Not the case with Cooper. Let's go ahead and get to the 9:45 mark, where he shows you again. Kid loves to tackle. I think with Cooper, this Michigan State game, to me, it felt like it was his best game of the entire season. He put on display everything that is going good with him. So again, sees on the receiver, block shed, turns his head, and he goes and makes the play here. So you see Cooper over here. I know we didn't see it; it was a little bit off screen, but he sheds the blocker there. He's coming in with bad intentions. He's diving at knees, making sure he can cut the tackler and make a play there. Love that willingness from my corner. But it's not just the tackling. Let him show you the ball skills as well. The very next play, you see him at the bottom of the screen here. It's his own coverage look. He was shadowing that receiver. There was no window for that ball. The quarterback throws a bad pass. Let's see it one more time here from the bird's eye. That is a clamped route. Quarterback had no idea where he was throwing the ball. It looks like it was a miscommunication between the receiver and the quarterback. But even if there wasn't anywhere to throw this ball. And Cooper sees that, and he goes from corner to receiver, tracks the ball, toe tap in the back of the end zone to get a turnover. Let's look at it one more time here from the end zone view just to get an idea of the footwork that Cooper has as well. Look at that. That's good at the pro level. Tapping the feet in the back of the end zone as a corner, you love to see that. Now let's go on to 11-13 here. You'll have Cooper at the bottom of the screen, and this is man coverage look here. He's all over this receiver. Again, there is absolutely no window for the quarterback to fit the ball in there. This is great sticky coverage. No early hands. There was a slight wraparound, but it didn't even matter. He's getting away with that at all levels. That is great. A great rep from Cooper DeJean there. Now, just got a couple more plays here in this one. Go to 12:35, where that man coverage is on display yet again. So you see the arrow lined up here, man-to-man coverage, bottom of the screen. And I don't think the receiver actually gets the ball here, but look at that. That's a curl route that I know the quarterback threw it to the other side. Well, he did that because he didn't have any other choices. We'll just look at the rep one more time here from this side. Cooper, hands on, get him a little slight jam there. Throw runs the curl, and Cooper runs the route basically for him. I know the play resulted in a catch. We're not worried about the result. We're worried about Cooper here. Again, another great rep from him. Now let's go ahead and get to the last play of this game that we'll see from him. I believe that's at 1844, where the theme of this game from him was great coverage and tackling. And we're going to see the tackling on display one more time. So you'll see it, the arrow pointing at him, top of the screen there. And this is a run play where it bounces and Cooper's there to save it from being a big play. The other thing too that I want to mention is that Cooper as a corner is responsible for the reverse or even the cutback. You know, BCR is what they like to call it in football terms. But he stayed in his lane. He didn't get over aggressive either and try and go make a play from the opposite side of the field. He stayed home and the play came right to him, and he was there to make it. So we'll see it again here from the end zone view. Play bounces out. Cooper one-on-one with the running back. Hey, no problem. I'll get him to the ground, and we live to fight another day without a big gain. So we'll go ahead and stop that one and switch over here to the last game. And the last game's against Penn State. And I know this game wasn't, we only got a few highlights from this next game. I think we only got 3. But the biggest part of that is because Penn State really didn't want to throw the ball at Cooper DeJean. I feel like that was their game plan coming in. They really didn't want to test him because they know what kind of talent that he is. And, you know, I think that's a testament to just the player that he is. So without further ado, we'll go ahead and get Penn State pulled up here. Perfect. And then we'll do that. And so you'll see here lined up about 10 yards off the receiver. And you see the sticks here. Biggest thing that I wanted to point out here. So I believe this was a third down play. And you see, again, where the sticks are, you see where Cooper's lined up. So you want to, if you're giving him this much cushion, you know you have to keep everything in front of you. And I think this is a play where Cooper kind of gets in trouble again here with his lack of flexibility or mobility in his hips. So you'll see the play develop here. Boom. It's really like a comeback route, but you see how long that transition took for Cooper to even really come downhill and go get it. So I want to see it again from the bird's eye. So it goes about 10 yards or so. The curl. This transition here, look at the difference between the receiver and the corner. Like I know, you know, Cooper doesn't know for sure what Wilder's running and he has to stop on a dime here. But look at the balance this receiver has versus Cooper, where it's like, oh, like I gotta really dig my foot, and it just takes him longer in that transition to get around it and go and make a play there. Now, luckily for Cooper, it was a face mask, and so play really wasn't huge in that regard. But you know, just something to think about with him at that next level, and you know, really want to work on that turnover for him. Now let's go ahead and go to the 346 mark, where I think again he puts on display that he's more than willing to be physical and willing to make a tackle here. So you see him lined up here on the outside against this receiver here. I believe this is it's essentially a screen. It's a little flare route to the running back. Cooper destroys his blocker and really sends him right back into the running back to make a play on the ball here. So see Cooper down here. It looks like it's actually going to be blocked pretty well. You got one man on him, one man on him. make the running back beat this linebacker that's flying in. But no, Cooper blows that play up because he's physical with his corner and he's going through him. Goes through him, throws him right into him, and then makes the tackle there. I love that play because it just shows you the physicality that Cooper can play with. Now we are going to go ahead and skip to the 20-minute mark. And this is going to be the last play of it. I told you this Penn State game happened pretty quick for him, but there was a few plays that I just wanted to highlight for you guys. So you will see him down here and one-on-one against this receiver here. And let's see how this play develops here. Outbreaking route. He gave him plenty of room on the turnover. I mean, for me, if I'm an opposing team, anytime I see Cooper and off coverage on the outside, I'm running 10-yard curls, or I'm running out routes, 10-yard outs. Like it just seems like that is really his kryptonite here. So you see the receiver really gets on top of him fast. And this turn actually wasn't too bad here. I just think he let the receiver close in on his space too quick. And that's why he was able to get this pass where he was. I don't actually think that turnover was awful there. I think it was pretty decent, especially compared to some of the other ones that we've seen. But again, I think the receiver got up on him too fast. And at the next level, you're going to have plenty of fast receivers that can close that distance in a hurry, and you're going to have to be able to figure out how to stop those routes. But again, I know this one was rather quick here, but I had a great time covering Cooper. I think this kid is a first round talent has first round talent written all over him. I understand the concerns potentially with his injury history and what he's coming back from, but leave all that aside. The kid can play football, whether it's at corner or it's at safety. I don't care. Kid's a football player, and I think he's going to make whatever team he goes to a lot better. But with all that said, we are fastly approaching draft time. The draft's next week. And with that said, we got the last breakdown of the 2024 offseason. And that is the number 1 overall pick, Caleb Williams. I absolutely cannot wait to break that film down for you guys. We talked about it on Wire to Wire on Wednesday, and we gave our predictions and our quarterback rankings of this class. Caleb Williams was the consensus number 1 overall quarterback for us. I know a lot of people are like, I'm not sold on him. I wouldn't have traded Justin Fields. And look, I get all of that. But at the end of the day, I'm telling you guys, the eye in the sky don't lie. And Caleb Williams is special. And I can't wait to share that with all of you. Appreciate you guys for tuning in with me. And until next Saturday, we are signing out for another edition of Real Recognizes Real.